What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to I Do It Myself. Today is Friday, and I'm saying grind day. Make sure you put a couple dollars to the side. Same time same time you facing your fears. You know what I'm saying? Same time that you facing your fears. Make sure you disciplining yourself. Discipline yourself to subscribe right now and like and share. But aside from that, I'm serious, y'all. Like, we don't know the times that we in. I know this seems like some crazy, weird movie. Every day is something happening. Planes is crashing. All-star game and what it used to be. All types of things is going on, and we don't know what's happening next. So the best way for us to prepare for anything that's to come is to have ourselves together. Get y'all health in order. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Health is an extremely, extremely, extremely important thing that I stress. And I'm stressing that because now in my lifetime, I used to, well, not used to, but I've lost a lot of friends, you know what I mean, to the streets and all types of things. I'm losing friends to health. So I just want to stress to y'all, like, let's change our diets. That don't mean that you can't have something that you really like every now and then, but discipline yourself. You know what I'm saying? Discipline yourself to only let that in maybe once or twice during the week. But for the most part, we got to change our diets, especially as we get older. And for the younger ones out there, I know that y'all think like y'all never going to be in this position where y'all feel like y'all have to eat right or nothing, but there's no like right time to start. Start right now. You know what I'm saying? Be the change that you want to see. Be the change you want to see. And with that being said, let's talk about J. Cole. So J. Cole came back to social media in a sense. I mean, I feel like J. Cole is somewhat restoring what the blog era feel was with his releases and really just getting back to basics. You know what I'm saying? Like really getting back to basics. I think that post everything that's happened last year, he's been handling himself pretty well, even due to the criticism that even he got. So, from the official Team Dreamville Twitter, this post came up and it said J. Cole updated his blog, and it says he's locked in on music while also balancing family life. And J. Cole says, I know, man, I'm off to a bad start with the consistency, but I'm going to do better. Watch. I've been locked in on the music while also balancing family life. It's a juggling act that a blog post wouldn't do justice in explaining. But with that said, I'm back tending to this garden, right? He also says, I think I'm going to let some other people post on here too to get the vibes up. It'll motivate me to check every day and will fuel the desire to post more. I'm going to start with Ebe and Scott and then expand from there. To anybody in the squad reading, if you're trying to contribute, I'm taking applications. So, like I said, I think that J. Cole, last year was the first time ever. I think people are always critical of artists and what they do good versus what they do bad. But J. Cole has always been this artist that everybody's championed and love. And I think like last year did something to him. And I'm not saying that from of course it was from a negative standpoint, because since J. Cole has put himself in position to win, nobody's really had nothing bad or like really bad. Like people are always going to have something to say, but I mean like to really like try to down him or put him down. And again, like I like the fact that he's getting back to the basics of what got him to where he is today, right? Like not forgetting. I think that Dreamville is great at always recognizing what means or matters the most to their brand. And that is the people. You know what I'm saying? That is the people. I think that like from the start, like seeing what Dreamville has actually become as a record label, you know what I mean? Staff and a motherfucking crew. Nah, but for real, this is what minding your business looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what you take and get out the way and mind your business and just stick to what works for you looks like. I mean, the end of last year, Cole and Ebe, they started the Inevitable podcast. You had to pay like $10 to join up or sign up or whatever. And then you was getting all these different stories about, music and different things from Cole's career, their lives. And that was really dope. And that was dope because, again, like I said, this is the shit that people want to know. And content, right? That word content. You got to keep them with the content. I don't want to see J. Cole on Instagram every day putting them stories. Yo, I'm in the studio, y'all. I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to listen to this freestyle right quick. Like, we don't need that from him. But I think that what he's been doing content wise is not equivalent, but even more. You know what I'm saying? Like Who would have thought that we would have gotten a J. Cole podcast? Who would have thought that Forest Hill Drive would have came, on the 10th year anniversary with new records? Also, going back to them doing the 10-year anniversary, them doing the show. I believe like they invited fans to the rehearsal. They real interactive. The whole Dollar in the Dream thing that became this big phenomenon where, when Cole did the show and it was only $1, you had like a sea of people. And I think that because of the battle and so many things that was going around and how we wanted our responses, because of course artists are we only look at artists for what we want them to be, generally speaking. Like we always like, this is what I want. It's like we have these people that we imagine to be our creative players and their own people. I love the fact that he also mentioned that he's balancing family life, because that's a question that I get asked a lot. Like, how are you able to work in music, do media, and then balance out family? I tell people all that. I tell people all the time that my secret is just going home. Like, there's no place I like being more than home. Like, I paid a lot of money for my home. Everybody I love is in my home. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's extremely comfortable for me to be here. So I think that, like, so many artists, they got to feel like they in the loop. They a part of something. They in the loop. They always around. Like, they always got to be like in the mix, or they got to be seen. That's another thing. Like, yo, man, you got to be seen. You got to pop out more and all of that. Not really. You know what I'm saying? Especially in times like this where, too much. I think, what is it? Greg Nice. No static, got automatic. Too much of anything makes you an addict. And some people are addicts of being seen. Some people are addicts of the limelight. Some people are addicts of the moment. You know that term, FOMO, fear of missing out. Some people gotta be they don't feel whole if they're not out every night. They don't feel whole if they're not doing something. They don't feel whole if they're not, a part of the conversation. And I think that the way J. Cole, the way Dreamville, the way that they built their company and rose it up was literally by the people being able to relate. And also let's keep in mind, the college stuff, I think like Cole's rhymes about college. Like, I always had this debate with people about J. Cole when it comes to the South. And it's so many people that like live in the South that be like, oh, we don't listen to that shit. And I'm like, yo, bro, like, let's stop thinking that people in the South is all people that come from the street. Like, if J. Cole do a show anywhere, if he does a show anywhere in any market in America, he's gonna sell it out and there's gonna be a ton of people there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that while we always claim that, or hip hop is from the streets, that also gets misconstrued with other people who don't come from a street life that are just as much as a part of hip hop, or make it up, from the fanfare to the support. All the shit that these niggas do is right. I'm just saying all that to say that. All the shit that they do is right, with exception of last year. You know what I'm saying? But salute to J. Cole, salute to Eve, salute to the whole Dreamville. I was about to say Dreamcast. I want another Dreamcast though. I ain't gonna lie. How many of y'all had Dreamcast? Drop that in the chat, in the comments. But let's talk about All-Star Weekend, right? So KD, KD has some stuff to say about All-Star Weekend. He said that, people complain. I think the thing about, everything today is to just complain and make it about like how much they don't listen. What I don't like about All-Star Weekend in its totality is the branding aspect. I'm not knocking nobody getting their money. But the brand overkill is crazy. Like, the brand overkill is crazy. It now feels like every event you watch, you just watching one big ass commercial. It's in the book, The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding and Marketing. There's this line in there, and I remember I started reading this book. I've been reading it since 2011. And it says, the consumer is not as dumb as you think, right? And when I think about that line, I'm like, all right, look, we understand. We are consumers. We're going to watch the All-Star game because we want to see, the festivities and activities from our favorite players, you know what I'm saying? Our favorite coaches, our favorite, commentators with inside the NBA. I just everything that we like to see, right? And it's just gotten to this point where it feels like y'all just trying to get us to fucking buy something every second. Like, again, I'm not knocking nobody for getting a bag, but I don't want to see a tournament. I don't watch the All-Star game for a tournament We already got the in season tournament, which you know what I mean. The in season tournament. At first, I didn't think it was gonna work. I actually enjoy the in season tournament because it makes people play a little bit harder. But this joint is just like, it's kind of trash to me. Then you got Kevin Hart every commercial break giving his breakdown. Listen, love Kevin Hart as a comedian. Love Kevin Hart as a comedian, an actor, a creator, and all of that. I don't care to see the nigga at the motherfucking at All-Star Weekend talking every time they put a camera on him. Love to see him sitting sideline, having funny moments and all of that. But I also want to see like the game, East versus West. Not, yo, hey Shaq, you get a team, Barkley, you get a team, Candace, you get a team. Let's mix these teams up. Let's get the young guys to go against the older guys, and like that shit corny, man. That's corny. Also, I seen like a meme page said they should do the blacks versus the whites, which they'd never do, but that shit was actually funny to me. But honestly, I want to see people wear their team jerseys again, man. I think that like the team jersey thing was dope. I don't know if they did a survey and they said to the players, yo, what would y'all actually like to see? I think it's dope for, the players to have their own jerseys with that all-star pin on them, you know what I mean? Or that all-star patch that we could get from Mitchell and Ness years later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see that type shit. I want to see that. And I want to see competitiveness. I feel like Chris Brickley's Black Ops in the summertime, y'all niggas play harder in that. Like, when y'all playing in the summer, if it's Drew League or whatever, y'all going harder playing in the local. And I went to Drew League like 2 summers ago. Shit was lit. Enjoyed myself, had fun, all of that. Shit was lit. I'm from New York. I used to live 2 blocks away from the Rucker. Seen tons of competitiveness there. Seen tons of competitiveness in Dykeman. Together We Chill. Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? All of the iconic courts in the city. Great. But the All-Star game, we supposed to see that at its highest level. And I just feel like the money, you know what I'm saying? Not the money that they win for winning the game, but the money like that everybody's getting, it just makes everybody lackadaisical. It makes everybody lackadaisical, man. Paul George is one of my favorite players ever. One of my favorite players ever. And I'm not joking. I got this nigga's hyper dunk PEs. That's how much I love Paul George. I got his hyper revs. That's how much I love Paul George. Before he had his signature, when his signature sneaker came out, I bought 3 pairs of them shits. Literally, I bought 3 pairs. That's how much I love Paul George. And I know that he's battled injuries and all of that, but like, from going to being one of the top superstars potentially to where he's at now, and I'm not going to hold the 2-point game against him in his totality, but him going to Philly has been super duper lackluster. Like, that shit has been super duper lackluster. Ain't been fun to watch. The whole Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. I'm going to keep it 100. If I'm Philly, I'm getting rid of Joel Embiid because it's inevitable. Let Joel Embiid go. He's going to go anyway. Build a team around Tyrese Maxey. You owe him a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? But build a team around Tyrese Maxey. Put Joel Embiid somewhere else and get some picks for him and get a player if you can. But as far as the All-Star game, I just want to see authenticity. That shit don't feel authentic no more. It feel like one long-ass commercial. All right. I want to talk about accountability right quick, y'all. I want to talk about accountability. Accountability is not something that is exclusive to men. You know what I mean? It's not exclusive to women. It's for everybody. Accountability is something that we all gotta have. I see so many people nowadays that do good, that work their asses off, grind hard, put themselves in great positions, and they end up just trying to prove themselves to people who don't matter. I'm gonna say that shit again. People who don't matter. There's so many dudes out here, so many chicks out here that I see trying to prove themselves to people who are worthless, who are failures. You crave this attention, or you crave this approval, and you crave this acceptance, you know what I'm saying, from people who, if they were given a lot of responsibilities that you have, they wouldn't even know how to handle it. Yet, you feel compelled to be there with them, stand there with them, sit around them. And a lot of them don't want to learn, don't want to put themselves in position, but to be extremely critical of you. And I want people to be accountable for that specifically, right? Like start learning how to be accountable for the bullshit that you create. If you see a shit storm around you, 9 times out of 10 is probably due to the energy that you put out to draw it in. If you see a lot of people around you, a lot of people that's trying to be a part of whatever it is you're doing, and they want to reap the benefits, but they don't want to contribute, always remind these niggas and these bum ass bitches that the last thing to grow on the tree is the fruit. So while you the one putting in work, while you the one grinding and busting your ass, while you the one that's trying to put yourself in position, if all they doing is watching, then that's all they can do. You don't owe anybody anything. That includes your mother and your father. Yeah, they might have brought you in this world and they might have done for you, but they didn't do for you and they shouldn't have done for you just to get something in return. They should have done for you so that one day you could do it better than they did it. And with that being said, I want y'all to stop feeling bad about doing good. This is how I do it myself. I'm heading into the weekend. I'm heading up to Boston. I'm going to Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is having an event for his sneakers. I'm going to go there. Hopefully I get a chance to meet the brother and maybe we get him on Out the Box. For the ones that rock with me, you know how we do. And for the ones that don't, eventually you will. I'm Wayno.